Continuing along in N, we have the problem 2a. We've got 2ab squared d to the negative second all over c to the negative third d cubed to the negative second. Now before I would do anything, I would kind of reduce what's inside of the parentheses first just to make my life easier by getting rid of any negative exponents. Well, I've got a negative exponent on the bottom, so that would move to the top. And so what we would get here is the 2a and b squared would stay the same, but the c to the negative third would move to the top and become a positive exponent. Now also we have a d to the negative second that would move to the bottom. When it moved to the bottom, it would become a d to the positive second. Notice the d that was already on the bottom with a positive exponent would stay. Only things with a negative exponent should be moving. And nothing else would be changing. We'd leave the negative exponent on the outside. We were only dealing with everything on the inside. Then we'd say, okay, well, I've got a d squared and a d cubed on the denominator. They're both together. They're getting multiplied together. So I can just put them together by adding them up. So we'd leave the 2ab squared, c cubed on top, but the bottom would be combined to say the 2d's and 3d's becomes a total of 5d's. And again, we've got the negative 2 exponent outside. Now let's deal with the negative that's on this entire fraction. This negative exponent that's on the outside means that this negative exponent would get distributed to each and every part. Well, instead of doing that, a negative exponent on an entire fraction would take anything that's on top and move it to the bottom, and anything that's on the bottom would move to the top. So what it's going to do is it's going to flip this whole guy upside down. So let's see what happens. So that will put my d to the fifth on top and my 2ab squared c to the third on the bottom. And now because I did that, the negative exponent on my whole fraction is not negative anymore. It is positive now. So all I need to do now is my last step is to take this positive 2 exponent, and square everything inside. So I need to square the d first. Well, remember, when I'm raising a power to a power, these parentheses should be a reminder that you're going to multiply the exponents. So it becomes a d to the 10th, because it's 5 times 2 is 10, over, let's see, I also have to square the 2. Well, 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. I also have to square the a on the bottom, so that's a squared. I also have to square the b squared. Again, that means I'm multiplying exponents. 2 times 2 would get me a b to the 4th. And squaring the c cubed that's already on the bottom, multiplying the exponents, 3 times 2 is going to get me c to the 6th power on the bottom. And we're done. So my final answer is d to the 10th on top over 4a squared b to the 4th c to the 6th. And as long as I don't have any negative exponents in my final answer, I am fine.